Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to 4.5 Marks. We got another special episode for you. We're just kind of hitting all the roads here. We got our special guest, DJ Doc, aka Con ARTIEST.
Yeah. What's going on, man?
But we're just gonna have a conversation today. We want to know more about you, more about your music, more about wrestling, kind of anything and everything we can learn about you. We want to know.
Interesting man, for sure.
Yeah, we've been talking off camera. Don't worry about what we talked about, but we've been talking. So yeah, just a lot of cool stuff that we've learned. So standard wrestling interview question, right? How'd you get into wrestling?
Oh man, okay. So I'm gonna give you the easy version. 2009, I was the mascot for the Omaha Beef Arena football team.
Yeah.
So before that, I was Herbie Husker. Before that, I was high school mascots and all that. So I was sirloin for the Omaha Beef, and we were a major sponsor for Beach Brawl, which happened at Funplex. And it was Alex Shelley, Homicide, or what was, I can't remember everyone that was on there, but Alex Shelley, Matt Morgan, there was like 2 or 3 other people from TNA that were on that show.
Wow.
And they were, the main company was Mike Halleck, Mantar, and his partner, Rest in Peace Mantar. It ended up being MWA was the main company that was there. So when we got there, of course, I'm just getting there early to hang out, and I saw a wrestling ring. Of course, being a huge wrestling fan, I'm a bedroom wrestler with my friends and with pillows, and I don't care what anyone says. I invented the F5. I just have to put that out there. I did it with a pillow first when I was like 6 or 7. But I ended up getting in the ring and was running the ropes, no training. Bumping around, no training, because I did that. I mean, working in haunted houses, doing all that. I knew the fundamentals of how to fall safely. I mean, I played football, knew how to fall safely. So I'm doing it in the ring, and long story short, a couple guys came and said, "Hey, you can't do that." And then the right one said, "Who trained you? You ever thought about doing this?" I said, "Nah." He was like, "Give me your phone number. You're going on a road trip with me this weekend." I said, "Okay." And my first setting up, doing any type of training was literally like the next week. And it was an amazing experience. And now here we are.
Yeah, wow. So just kind of the old school way. It's like someone saw you and like, "You look like you could be a wrestler. Come with me. Let me show you how to be a wrestler."
Exactly.
Wow.
So cool. A Funplex of all places too.
Yeah, it was a pretty big show too. There was a lot of people at that show. Like, I was very surprised. I actually got involved in the match too. That's what was even better. Matt Morgan pie faced me. He pie faced me, and he didn't know that I knew how to bump technically. So I was in his face, and I've got, of course, he's way up there. So
he's a big guy.
There's at least like a 1.5 foot difference between the top of this mascot uniform and where he is. So he was like, "Get this stupid bull out of my face," and he pushed me, and he didn't know, but I was like, "Oh, it's my time to shine." And I flew back so far, and my feet, when your heels, one of those, I flew out of the ropes, and they rushed me like, "Are you okay? Are you okay?" And of course, they can't see my face. I'm like, "Oh, I'm fine. I'm playing around." So they were scared and like took me to the back, and he was so paranoid, but he was like, "Dude, do you wrestle?" I said, "Nope, I don't wrestle. I just knew what I was doing." He was like, "You really need to do this." But it was fun.
Wow.
Matt Morgan. Wow, dude, that's so cool.
First bump from Matt Morgan. I don't think a lot of people can say that.
Wow. Now he's mayor somewhere in Florida, right?
Somewhere.
Wow, really?
I think if I remember right, we'll check that.
Office?
It's something like that.
They ran for office.
Yeah, I think it's like Clearwater, Florida, or something like that.
Yeah. Well, there's the icon off camera.
Yeah.
But kind of going back a little bit before that is like, so how did you discover like wrestling? Like
as a kid?
As a kid. Like, how did you discover wrestling? How did you what was it about it that like attracted you to it?
I love the entertainment aspect of it. I mean, as a kid, you always play fight with your friends. And just scrolling on TV one day, I just saw people play fighting, but it was like characters. And it really caught my eye. I was super young. But what really messed me up, I'll never forget, it was a Monday. So I was watching some wrestling program. And while I was watching it, I saw something happen. And they like dropped manure or whatever on this guy as he was walking up the ramp. And I was like, "Oh, that's crazy." And then I changed the channel, and there was another wrestling show on. And what looked like the exact same guy was walking up the ramp, but something different had happened to him. I was like, what in the world? That's the same dude.
Yeah.
But of course, I'm super young. It wasn't the same person. So we're talking about Stone Cold Steve Austin and Goldberg. So this is Monday night. Exactly. Yeah. All I saw was a bald white dude with a necklace on, wearing black trunks. Yeah. So I'm thinking it's the same person. But then, like, that's what really got me. From there, I was like, I got to watch this. This is fun. Yeah. And then we hit that Attitude Era.
Yeah,
the best.
That was just one of those things where if you were involved in that, you had to be a fan. It was everywhere. It took over your life. We were at school getting suspended, doing stuff that it was a lot. But that's really what got me. Me and my friends, we would just sit down and watch and love it. Then of course we would go to someone's basement and imitate what we saw unsafely. Don't do that.
Yeah, don't do that. Man,
that's crazy.
WWF or WCW?
What era?
I guess at the height of the Monday Night.
So here's the truth. WCW, I felt, this is just personal, I don't want anybody to come at me, I felt like it was slow paced. And what I mean by slow pace is there was a lot of emphasis on noise in the ring and trying to make these characters bigger than life versus the actual focus on the wrestling. So I felt like it was a little slower pace because it's like, I'll hit this guy 6 or 7 times and then he just stands up and shrugs it off. It's like, oh, okay, well, he's unstoppable. Cool. But you do that every single match. Versus on the same show, you have high flyers and guys that are lucha and guys that come from ECW and guys that are amazing wrestlers and know how to work that don't get the spotlight and the shine that they should. Then you jump over to WWE, WWF, whichever they were at specific times throughout this 10-year span. They were so focused on storytelling that I feel like at that time they had mastered how to have 6 or 7 different stories that kept you intrigued no matter what. So if you were a main eventer, a mid-card, or a dark match person, somehow you were involved in something and they found a way to hook you and make you a fan. Then when Monday Night Wars hit, you gotta think about it, that was the Attitude Era, that was the punch in the face. I mean, who else goes to another venue and storms it? I really wish that they would have gotten through that little door. I really do. But, I would have to choose WWF/E. I would have to. They pushed boundaries. It wasn't about entertainment at that time. It was more about selling the product, which was super amazing.
Yeah, that's a good point. That's how I fell in love with it too. Was definitely the story. I mean, what I find from wrestling and what I like the most is when it's storyline driven, right? When there's something that you're like, okay, next week I have to watch this. I have to tune in because, I don't know, we're on a cliffhanger or it's something happened where I need to tune in. I gotta know, right? And that's what drives it for me, at least, Wrestling's incredible, right? It's an incredible thing. We all here love it. It's one of the, it's a blessing in disguise for some. It's a good way to get that energy out, right? Yeah. There's all kinds of different ways, but I think wrestling's a good aspect because it brings 2 worlds together. It brings a physical and, a story-driven product, which is beautiful. A lot of things don't do that. So.
Exactly.
Okay. So, kind of, I get the whole captivating thing because, when I started watching shows around here, it was with Magnum. And you were on the first show that I went to. I think you were, I can't remember if it was a singles match or if you were teaming with Don West as part of the culture. Yeah. But you're just always super entertaining. I look forward to seeing you. And then now you're with, doing stuff with PWP, and I'm liking that stuff a lot.
So, of course, start off with MWA. And then I had reached out, well, let me not say I reached out. A very prominent person at Magnum reached out to me and was like, hey, you need to come over here. Yeah. Of course, I'm still super young. I'm my loyalty, which is amazing. Yeah. But I didn't realize the magnitude of the person that was reaching out to me, telling me to come over. And, I, not disrespectfully, but, no, I'm just going to stay where I am. And I kind of missed that chance to be bigger on Magnum. But then I ended up getting contact with Magnum, and they ended up booking me just to, let's see what you got. They loved what I did. So we definitely got to work with you. But it's kind of one of those things where we're excited, we want to do stuff, but it just has to make sense. And no matter what they tried to do, just certain stuff wasn't making sense.
Sure.
And then on the vice versa of it, I was just starting stuff with PWP at the same time.
Right.
And it was making sense at PWP because the direction they were just, let's see where we can get him and what kind of matches, and just the crowd and the energy and everything that was working there. It's like I just couldn't get it to work on the other side. So it was trial and error with one and really working super strong with the other. And that is kind of what really helped me on both ends, was I was able to build the name as Con Artiste. I was able to build the rapport with the fans, and everybody loved Con. Then, like magic, just a conversation that we had one day about, really it was like a joke. It was, hey, let's like put all the black wrestlers together and call them like the homeboys or something, or the neighborhood. And the only reason we had said that, we were doing the taping, and it just so happened that everybody, we just like flip coins or whatever just to get on, just to mess around, just to get some footage. And it just happened that it was like an 8-man tag, and literally 3 out of 4 on one side was all black people. it just happened that way. So then we were like, yo, we should just like call it the neighborhood or something like that. Would be crazy. 3 months later, debut of the culture with Con Artiste and John West, just as a let's see. The crowd loved it.
Over.
And then it was like, from then on out, it was like, all right, we got it figured out. And it just skyrocketed from there.
Yeah, it was great. Because I saw you guys win the tag titles.
Ah, okay.
And I saw you guys lose the tag titles too.
Yeah.
What I love about like your character work too is like you have with Magnum and with PWP, you're completely different. You have completely different vibes, looks, like everything. So I know this is a question that Tyler had, is like, how do you get it? Like, what is your creative flow, your creative process in coming up with this?
It's I love horror movies. So when you think about, I compare wrestling to like horror movies or haunted houses or things like that.
Okay.
There are so many ways to tell a story, and there's so many different ways to portray. For instance, if you say a clown, everyone's going to have a different way that they do the exact same clown. So you have to think about how to be a wrestler different from everybody else that's natural and makes sense for what you do. I'm 5'11", 350 pounds, but I can move. I'm not a high flyer. So I have to realize my moveset has to match what I look like and what I'm naturally going to be able to do.
Right.
So how should I present myself to be able to get this across? I don't want to be like everybody else. And it's nothing against everyone else. I was taught very first show that I debuted on, I guess, as a mascot, was if you ever get into this business, don't let them tell you have to wear boots and tights.
Right.
I was like, what? He was like, don't let them make you a cookie cutter wrestler. Come with your own ideas and your own way of telling and expressing who you are. And then I had to look at it. If you look at all of the wrestlers that were different, you look at your Ravens, you look at the majority of ECW, you didn't have tights, boots, pads, and a smile on their face. Even the good, like, you never saw that. It was, I'm wearing street clothes and I'm still doing the same thing. When you look at a lot of the big faces, when you look at WWE and WCW, they were the I wear tights, I do this, or they would randomly come out in jeans. Like, oh, you were in the back not dressed, but you're dressed enough to come out in jeans. I'm like, there's a different way to present Con Artiste. And, you know, there's multiple ways to tell the story. So my mindset was, how do I talk about every side of what goes on in my daily life in a ring? So I know I keep everyone happy. I smile. I'm in the ring. Yay. But there's times when us as wrestlers, we just don't really feel like we're at our best. And there's always that voice that's in your head that's like, hey, you need to do better. Maybe you should lose some weight. Maybe you should get in the gym. Or maybe this isn't for you. Or you have a bad match when you really wanted a good match. And then maybe this one situation where you're like, I'm just ready to quit. I'm ready to give it up. Or you put your all into a show as a promoter and no one shows up. Or you go out there and have this crazy planned match in front of 6 people. And then when there's 400 people, you mess up and look stupid and you're gassing and out of breath. And you have that voice that says, maybe you need to stop. You have that inner demon that's like, working against what you really want. So I took that and put it into what was really going on with Khan. You know, I had the Rising Phoenix champion. I had the PWP championship. Fought, defended it, then I lost it. It took forever to get it, and then I lost it. I lost it at a very pivotal time when I had a family member that I just found out was a family member pass away. So you're talking about that same month I have to defend this title, and then I lose. Then I rematch and lose again. Then my next match I lose. The match after that I lose, and I'm like, I'm just mentally not here. And I hear that inner demon fighting to get out, saying, stop being nice to people. Stop. Just buckle down and be mean for a little bit. Let this mean streak out, because you can only smile for so long. So that's where you get the alter ego of Khan.
Yeah.
That's where you're getting the Phantom of PWP. That's where you're getting the family, because we are people. Of course, we love and support each other, but that's where you're going to get the mindset of, we were never really supported by the fans. We were never really supported by the other people in the locker room. We supported each other, because when we were losing, they walked past us. But when we were losing, we looked at each other and helped each other up. So now you have all this anger that's been pent up, that's getting let loose in a wrestling ring. Mm-hmm. It's not going to look the same as when Khan is happy. It's not going to look the same as when Tank is happy. It's not going to look the same. It's going to look different. It's going to present itself differently. It's going to have a darker image. That's where the mindset comes into, how am I going to present this?
Yeah. I'm big into movies. Like, one of the things I want to do is like make my own movies. Mm-hmm. One of the best things I had read about it, and it was really interesting to me because I was already a wrestling fan, was watch wrestling, because you build your climax, you build your stories, you build all the little nuances that what it takes to make a movie. So hearing like you essentially get inspiration from horror movies and doing all this stuff with it, it's cool to hear and kind of relate to it all. I want to ask about your music too.
Yeah, definitely.
So when do you start DJing? When do you start creating your own music? When does that start?
So this started at 15. Okay. Haunted Houses started at 15. Music started at 15. Wrestling was just a few years after that. But was DJing in high school. Started at 15. Was on radio. Had my own radio show at 15. Oh. So I was leaving school to go do radio to co-host a show. It was crazy. But that's where it really started. I was around a lot of DJs that were prominent in the city at this time. So we're talking about 2005. There was like a core group of DJs that were amazing. No matter where you went, you saw them. Yeah. So I ended up being mentored by them, doing internships, eventually getting hired at the radio station. And it just kept growing, being around it, going up to the radio station at 11, 12, 1, 2 in the morning, because there's DJ equipment there, making sure I wasn't live on air, turning it on and just practicing. Right. Because I loved music. I've always loved music. I've played the violin, the piano, drums. So I've always loved music, but to be able to DJ, which was like something that I've always wanted to learn and do, now I have the ability to do so. So then you're talking, that's 15 to 17. Freshman year in Nebraska, I'm 17. I'm like, all right, I'm ready to start doing it on my own. I was not. But I threw a party. Yeah. And I DJ'd this party with little to no equipment, borrowing stuff, figuring stuff out, a booklet of CDs that had 133 MP3 stuff on. Like, it was crazy, but we had fun.
Yeah. And
I realized that that's what it was about. It was about having fun and creating that atmosphere of an experience. Yeah. You know, there's a saying that I've heard with a party promotion group that says, we don't throw parties, we throw experiences. Mm-hmm. And I had to mold that into everything that I do. So from wrestling, from DJing, from working at a haunted house, no matter what it is, it's like, I'm here to give an experience. Because you're going to remember an experience. Experiences make you closer. Parties you'll forget about until someone brings it up, but you'll always remember an experience.
Okay.
Oh, that's beautiful.
Yeah, I like that. I mean, yeah, you kind of have to just, if you love to do it, you just got to do it. Like that's how we started here. Like
it's true.
Me and the icon over there, we loved wrestling. We would talk for hours about wrestling. And HCB over in the other corner was like, you guys should do something about it. So it's like, well, let's do it. And it started off in Tyler's other room with
a PC and a beanbag.
PC and a beanbag and one mic, and just trying to get it to sound good and just playing around with it. And we did that for a long time, and now we've learned, like both me and Icon, we edit the videos, and we've gotten a lot better at doing that. And then now we've upgraded our equipment, our camera quality is a lot better, and our audio is now getting to where we want it to be, but. It's having that love for it and that drive for it that is the reason why we were able to do it and go out and figure it out.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that passion is what drives it, right? It's not necessarily what you gain from it. It's more so that inner, I guess, what's the word? I just had the word and I lost it. But it's that drive for yourself, right? It's that it's a passion project, right? It's not for anyone else. It's more for yourself, right? The more that you love something, the more that you're going to invest and find better things and better routes and, paths to develop your craft, right? Mm-hmm. I mean, it's in everything we do, definitely. So I see how that you do things, and especially just seeing you in the ring, listening to your music. I mean, it's cool to hear you say that stuff, because now it's starting to connect bridges for myself. You know what I mean? It's like I see the passion involved.
I see the passion with you all too. Like the thing that I love is when you invest into something, mm-hmm. it's nice to see people appreciate your investment, and they will invest in it as well without you having to ask. And with you all, it's just like, I love the fact that it's like, oh, you'll show up, you'll talk about a show, you'll go to a different show, you talk about it. It is consistent. I said, they're really doing this. They're invested in themselves, and they're at every show, and they're cheering no matter what's going on or who it is, and they have their favorites. They have this. That helps us as wrestlers, like, more than y'all know. Like, I try to do my little nods every now and then. I'll throw a 4-up randomly. I'll somehow figure out how to throw something in a promo. But at the end of the day, that's just my little nod of respect back to you all, because you all recognize the investment that we're doing, and you're willing to shed light and invest in that as well. So on behalf of everyone, I appreciate it.
Well, it's definitely a two-way street.
Yeah,
it's definitely a two-way street.
Like, you guys put on shows that we love, that we have to come back. Like the stuff with I had never seen the whole Phantom stuff until I had never even gone to PWP until the first time you're already doing it. And it's like what is going on in this? And it's like, I'm invested. I have to see this. And so it's definitely like your guys' work that keeps us involved. Because, I mean, we'll just be honest, like, if it sucked, it sucked. We wouldn't be back.
True. I get that.
But you guys keep us entertained. Like, it's always great. It's always great work, both, like, PWP with Magnum. We haven't been to an MWA show in, like, years. But, like, a lot of those guys have been popping up here and there. So we know the caliber work that they do. Mm-hmm. We've started going to
Wrestling Revolver.
Yeah, and so we're loving that. We're planning our next show for that. But that's kind of our goals. We want to go to as many shows as possible. Speaking of shows, so one show I have yet to go to that everybody in this room has been to is Med Death.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Yeah. I'm the only one to have not gone to Med Death. So that's another character of yours.
Yeah.
That's kind of almost like a blend.
It's the in between. Yeah. That's definitely what it is.
So you told these guys a story at one of the shows. I'm wondering if you can bring up that story.
Okay, so not to drag it out, I was on the phone with a family member, and long story short, we were just catching up. It's my mom's biological father, so we were just having conversations, catching up, haven't spoken to them in years. And they were like, yeah, your mom was telling us she wrestled? I was like, yeah. I was like, oh, you got an uncle that wrestles. Yeah. I was like, okay. Like, what's the purpose of telling them? Yeah. Cool, whatever. Right. And then they were like, yeah. They said, it's your Uncle Jerome. Who is that? I don't know.
Yeah. Uncle Jerome.
I was like, who is that? So they were like, yeah, hold on. Yeah. And then they're calling someone. Who are they calling? And then I hear a very familiar voice pop on that phone call. And all I heard was, hello? Who the fuck is this? I said, whoa, hold on now. So it ended up being New Jack on the phone. And I added him on Facebook like immediately.
Yeah.
Didn't want to be like that person, but of course it's like,
That's my uncle.
y'all are playing like, is this like blood related or what? How? Like, so many questions are going on. Like, is this confirmed? Is this like, you black people, we be saying people are family, and they're not. Oh, that's your uncle. It's because you know this person that know this person. That's your uncle. Yeah. So I'm still trying to figure this out. And end up messaging him on Facebook, like, yo, uncle, what's up? Blah, 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 blah. Love everything you're doing. Trying to network, get some stuff done. Yeah. And it was just a few conversations on Facebook that had happened, and like 2 phone calls. And I was like, yeah, this is real. I'm like, all right, I'm going to make sure I try to figure out how we're supposed to be related because I still need to figure this out.
Yeah.
And then he passed away. And I was like, oh, you're kidding me. So I was kind of like left up in the air, but it was the fact that whether it's blood related or not, my family is saying that this is my uncle. Yeah. And he answered the phone when they called. So I kind of like just leave it at that. I don't want to go around and be like, yeah, hey, just so you know, my uncle is, and I'm related to, I'm not that person.
Right.
Like, only now everyone's going to know. Yeah. But only very close people, like, when I found out, knew. Yeah. And we were all in shock. Like, it was like one of those things where once people found out, they're like, there's no way. But you take that and his legacy and everything that he's done, I kind of felt like it was, I gotta pay my own little tribute to my uncle. For sure. So I just started this. Yeah, I'm my uncle's nephew. I'm my uncle's nephew. So if you ever get a chance to see me in any type of deathmatch situation, it ain't even really got to be deathmatch. I'm gonna be honest, and I'm probably gonna get in trouble for saying this. If I don't like you, or you just do stupid stuff, remember the angel and the demon that be there? Yeah. Yeah, it's just him on both sides. So, but no, all love and respect. God rest his soul. It was amazing to be able to figure that out, and at least whether how related we are, whatever the situation is, the fact that I was able to communicate with him as much as I did, and the little advice and tips that he gave with certain stuff, that's more than I could ever ask for.
That's insane.
That's so cool.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Yeah, I always talk about like how do you quantify a circumstance or I forgot the word. A coincidence, right? How do you quantify a coincidence? Like what's really behind? Is it really a coincidence, or is it something that's meant to happen?
Yeah,
right.
Yeah. Everything is meant to happen. I don't believe in coincidence. Everything is meant to happen. It's just not for you to know at that moment. Mm-hmm. That's why we call it, that was a coincidence. And then down the road you'll go, okay. It wasn't. It's just that's something that I was told something once that they said God knows how to get your attention and align you where you need to be. You ever been really frustrated? You start dropping stuff? And you only drop it when you're frustrated? Or like you walk through a door and snag your shirt on the door? Yeah. And that's the only time it ever happens, when you're frustrated and rushing? Someone said that's God saying slow down. That's him. And I was like, oh, snap. Because I never thought about that. You will drop your phone or misplace something and be upset that you misplaced it. And then while you're looking for it, you'll see something that you forgot that wasn't even on your mind when you were walking out the door. And I said, oh, snap. So I get it. So I stopped looking at life circumstances as coincidences and started looking at it as, all right, what am I supposed to be paying attention to right now? Mm-hmm. And again, like you said, meeting this phone conversation led to me doing death matches and having like the most fun I've ever had. Yeah, like, those are fun. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, those are fun.
Yeah, and you especially got that time, that time with him.
Mm-hmm. And the just time that I did,
in that situation. I mean, imagine not knowing that, and then him passing or something.
And then finding out. I mean, it's still one of those things. I always cherish those conversations and those brief moments because they were brief, but they were still, regardless how brief they were still amazing, and I will always cherish those.
That's lovely. I love that.
By the way, we still have that sink.
Yeah, the kitchen sink. I don't know if I'm gonna look at both cameras and y'all gonna switch. I'm gonna make y'all do some work. So what happened was when they say bring everything, including the kitchen sink, your boy did that.
He did,
and I used the kitchen sink too. And it was real.
I'll tell you what, there's proof. There's proof. It's all over it.
It's in the chat.
I brought the kitchen sink as well. That was so the truth behind that was, so you remember playing like WWE whatever, and like the weapons would magically appear from under the ring.
Yeah.
Always a kitchen sink.
Yeah.
I legitimately would wonder, why the hell is there a sink under a ring in an arena? That makes no sense to me.
Yeah.
Now I know why.
Nice.
Kitchen sink. Yeah.
Oh man, I definitely want to go to one of those shows.
You really should. You really should. The whole dynamic of not having a ring is interesting.
Yeah,
it's so much fun.
I've seen the clips. I saw some of the clips when you went against Joseph Anderson. Yeah, it was great. Also, so there's a meme now too of the icon standing near Duke and
Prince
O'Shea. Yeah. So if you look at that picture where Prince O'Shea's all bloody with Duke in that corner, that's his leg.
That's me.
Okay.
Yeah. So yeah, so I definitely have to go. It's just we'll see when they come back around.
It's fun. There's a I don't want to say it's viral, but there's a video of me in a very unfortunate circumstance at my first ever mid-death show. I'll tell y'all.
Yeah.
So
I was there.
The venue.
I was there.
So
okay.
the venue owner was very against me using these two very solid, super strong, perfectly weighted metal benches because he said I was going to break them.
Yeah.
All I was going to do was set up. So my hands are the back.
Yeah.
So set one here, and then put a door across. Then I was going to put the guy on the door. I'm my uncle's nephew.
Yeah.
Damn straight.
So I go about 8.5 feet in the air.
Yo.
Y'all know what time it is? 187.
Yeah.
Cool. Well, we
Well.
couldn't use the nice, solid, perfectly sized, weighted metal benches.
Yeah.
So we had these itty bitty, teeny weeny, if you sit on the wrong way, gonna break wooden stools. And I said, all right, well, we'll make it work.
Yeah.
So I put the table out. I'm like, all right. So put them on top of the table. I said, all right, here we go. I go up. Out of sight, out of mind, let's just do it. You seen the video. Y'all ready for that?
It was awesome.
Mama for cussing. And then I jump. As I jump, freeze frame, black and white. Freeze frame. Matter of fact, watch this. Here, this is going to be amazing. This has never happened. I'm going to pause so y'all can see the picture in the video. I want them to superimpose it.
Yeah.
It's going to be right here. Okay.
We have the video.
So,
we have the
y'all have the video? Okay, so
two angles.
Y'all got two. So I'm going to narrate this. So you see me standing right there up top, right?
Yeah.
I'm talking every amount of mess you can, and then you see me jump. He moves.
Yeah.
So that door moved. The door moved. Rewind. You see me bounce? Do you see my ribs and hip and kidneys bounce off of the side of this door? Do you see it? Freeze. Right there, I bounced. Do the rewind thing. I'm bouncing off of this door with my hip, rib, kidney area, the ripikids, okay? I bounce one time and then I fall on the ground. When I tell you I was perfectly fine for the first 20 minutes, and then I took a deep breath. Every ounce of pain and every injury I'd ever had in my body, my knee, my left wrist wasn't even nowhere near what it happened. Left wrist started hurting. I have a displaced, my right ankle is displaced. And broken fibula from wrestling, that started hurting again. My eye was hurting. Everything hurt for 2 weeks.
Man.
That sucked. And I was like, when's the next show? So I had fun.
Is that why you weren't on that next PWP show? Because I was like right after.
I gotta remember when that was.
Shoot.
Let me see this timestamp on that video.
So
It was
that
wild.
was. So if that was March,
Yeah.
then that means the next PWP show was April.
That sounds right. That was
that is right.
WrestleMania.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah.
So here's what happened.
Yeah.
I was on tour with King ISO and Tabo.
Mm-hmm.
I was DJing on tour, so that timing just kind of made a little too much sense.
Yeah.
I had to be on tour, and we were on tour from the middle of April through like the middle of May. Yeah,
Okay.
we did the Med Call tour with King ISO, so that's why I was going.
So I'm glad you brought up music because I wanted to pivot to this.
Yeah.
So how did you get on this Tech 9 album?
Oh man! First off, shout out Tech 9. Y'all see the hat?
Yeah, we
y'all
love
see the hat.
Strange.
Music.
I've listened to the whole album because I just wanted to listen to your parts, but I listened to the whole thing.
You like it?
I liked it. So
It's fire.
Well, when it comes to like rap music, I'm very selective of things.
Uh-huh.
I'm usually more like indie rock, metal
Okay.
type of stuff. Like I listen to anything and everything, but it's just rap. I'm very selective. But
Okay.
that album's really good. And then even though you don't really have like a bar anywhere, you're just kind of in the skits. I love them because they're great.
Yeah.
So, long story short, shout out to ISO, Tabo, Take 9, everybody at Strange. ISO and Tabo are my brothers.
Okay.
Grew up with them. We've had our life cross paths way too many times. Those are my brothers. Love them to death. Of course,
Respect.
ISO is signed to Strange Music. Tabo and I belong to Project Be Well, which is a subsidy of it's our label technically. So, long story short, consistently going on shows and tours with ISO and being around certain people at Strange and hanging out, meeting people, hanging out, dinners, da. For some reason, Tech wanted me to be on this album. I remember it was actually, ironically, it was a year ago, September 18th of 22, when ISO was going on the Australia, New Zealand, Canada run with Tech. And the first show was in like Sioux City at the Hard Rock. We were at that show. I wasn't DJing, I was just there supporting. Yeah. And I know Tech well enough at this point, like to be able to go up and him be like, "Oh, what's up, Doc?" Like I'm at least stop a conversation, name dropping. I'm at that point.
Yeah.
So I walk in and they're doing a meet and greet, and he steps away from a conversation to pull me aside to give me my props when I was DJing. He was like,
wow.
"Hey man, like what you really kill it up there, man. Like you got a lot of energy. Everything you're doing is good, man. I'm proud of man. Keep going, keep pushing. Like that combination with you and ISO, man, that's deadly, man. Like I'm sitting there like, bro, did Tech 9 just tell me like he likes how I DJ?
Yeah.
I was like, okay, he's telling me stuff I do during shows, so in my mind, you're paying attention. I said, okay, they watching. And ISO said it. Hey, bro, just keep working. They watching. Okay. So fast forward now, I was at home cleaning. I think I was vacuuming. I can't remember. I was doing something in my living room.
R&B playing.
And hey, listen, that's the best
Yup.
way to clean. If y'all don't put that music on when you clean, you ain't really cleaning. So
That's me.
I'm sitting there, whatever it was, it was like divine intervention. I just stopped doing what I was doing and went to walk away, and my phone was ringing. I was like, oh snap, ISO calling me. So I'm jumping to, what's up, bro? He was like, hey, what up, man? Hey, what you up to right now? I said, nothing. He said, hey, all right, so check this out. I just got off the phone with Tech. And then he got quiet. What's up? He was like, oh yeah, my fault. Yeah, I just got off the phone with Tech. He want to put you on his album, bro. I was like, oh, that's, now mind you, at this point, I'm like, oh, that's dope, bro. Like, hell yeah, bro.
Say
like,
less.
yeah, just let me know what I need to do, bro. I'll drive down the streets whenever I need to. He was like, yeah, I'm about to call him right now. Hold on. What? So he calls him, and I'm on three-way with Tech. What up, Doc? I'm like, Tech, what's good, bro? So I'm trying to play it cool.
Yeah.
Nope. I'm like, hey, what up, Tech? I'm man, hey man, I appreciate the opportunity. Yeah, man. So he was like, so here's the concept. The album is gonna be called Bliss. It's gonna be the party in the sky, but it's the pits. So it's welcome to the pits, the party in the sky. So I didn't realize the album was gonna be called Bliss. I'm thinking the album is called The Party in the Sky, the pits.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh, okay. So he was like, yeah, we'll be in contact. I'm like, okay. So in my mind, I'm like, don't do anything to mess this up. So I'm thinking, he told me the intro he wanted me to do. And I was like, oh, okay. So I'm thinking it's just this one part. He just wants my voice. Super, hey, I'm cool with it. What's up?
Yeah, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So when I got to be down there, a couple weeks goes by, a couple more weeks goes by. All right, yeah, bro. Hey, you got your session. It was weird to say it. Your session at Strange's at this time and that. I was like, all right, bet. So I'm geeked the whole week of waiting to get down there, and then that week goes by and it's time to go. I get down there. He had already emailed me everything he wanted me to do. So my first thought was, I'm only doing this one thing, and then he emailed me everything that I was going to be recording. I'm like, yo. What? I want to say his exact words were, yeah. So like everything that you do is gonna be like the glue that holds everything together. Like you're the first voice they hear on the album. And then I'm like, yo, I cannot mess up. Wow. I cannot mess up. I've done stuff before, but this is like by far the biggest thing. So I'm sitting there with one of the engineers, and I'm all right, we gotta get this figured out. Cool, let's do it. And I went in there, and I remember anytime I do something and I'm nervous, I always remember this quote that T.I. said that Denzel Washington told him when they were filming a movie. They hired you to do you. Stop worrying about what everybody else is doing. Something like that. And that mindset is, T.I. said, I'm not an actor, so he's trying to figure out how to act to be and match the energy and the life that these other actors are giving. That's not why he got hired. He got hired because he's T.I. and they wanted the acting that T.I. does in this movie. So I had to remember that. Stop trying to be all these other DJs and all these other and just be DJ Doc. That's why they want you. Took that second, took that breath, went to that booth and was like, yeah, let's do it. I will never forget. Tech was texting somebody while I was recording, and I got to the whole intro part. Say hell yeah! Tech literally put his phone down, looked up at me, started getting hyped in the studio. And as soon as I was done, he was like, hell yeah, hell yeah. I was like, oh, I'm in here now. Oh yeah, it was work. It was work from there on out. I was like, yep, here we go. So, recording that was a crazy, fun experience. And the fact that, I got closer with Tech at that point. I got closer with everybody at Strange at that point. And then waiting on the album to come out. Yeah. It was supposed to be the 14th, and then they pushed it back, and I'm like, oh man, did they take me off the album? Like, what's going on? And then I heard it. Yeah. And I was like,
hell yeah.
Bro, that's me. And then I had to really let it sink in. My voice is everywhere around the world right now, guaranteed. Like, I know for a fact there are people in Zealand who know who DJ Doc is now. Yeah. You're in New Zealand knowing who I am. You're in Australia knowing who I am. Not from a video that you may have seen that went viral on whatever social media platform. Because you're a Tech 9 fan. Because you're a Strange Music fan. You now know who I am. Guaranteed. I'm like, that's crazy. And to even travel places now, and like, certain people will stop me like, wait, you're DJ Doc. Bro, you killed her on the Tech album. And I'm like, for real, you heard that? Like, for real? That's it's just crazy to hear that. But that experience and being on there, shout out to Tech, man. Shout out to Tech. Shout out to Tech, Mr. Yates. Nice. Nah, I appreciate it.
Yeah, that's crazy. That's a great
so
story.
Cool. That's downtown KC, right?
No.
I thought he had a studio down there.
No, so we're in Lee Summit.
Lee Summit, no way. Okay.
Yeah.
He moved
Strangeland is in Lee Summit. They've moved a few times, but Strangeland is a whole. Listen. Strangeland is literally strange land. It's not a building. It's land.
Okay.
Anything you need to do there, you can do there. Legitimately. Like where their sound stage is a concert venue sound stage. Next to it is a storage facility. Name us tour from Strange Music. They got merch there. Yo. Like it's so perfectly organized. It's unreal. Like I'm in awe. I've been down there enough now. I'm still in awe. I'll show them and go, man, this is crazy. Like Y'all really got all this stuff
You
here.
gotta soak it in.
And then you go to where the studio is. And then you go to the offices. And then you go to where they ship merch from. And then you go to where the cars are. And then you go, it's just like, man, this is crazy. And you would never think, if you had no idea what strange music was, or driving by these buildings, you'd have no idea the amazingness that's inside these buildings. It's crazy.
Wow.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow. So yeah,
That's crazy.
Yeah,
That's crazy.
that's crazy. I'm happy for you for getting on that. Like
For
I said,
sure.
I loved it. I listened to it once through. I think I started listening to it again because I like to listen to albums like all the way through a couple times, so then I can really like pick up everything off of it. But I think I did one and then 1.5, and then my wife got tired of me listening to it. So, but we I enjoyed it a lot. So going into like performing music and then performing as a wrestler, like what are differences or similarities that you have like getting ready for each one?
You just gotta be in the zone.
Yeah.
It's really like with anything you do, as long as you're in the zone and like you're really focused on, I know what I need to do, let's just go out there and do it. You don't want to get in your own head about it.
Yeah, sure.
You want to have fun. I guess in the wrestling world, you want to be safe.
Mm-hmm.
You want to make sure that you are engaging with the crowd and that's who you're doing it for. Mm-hmm. Same with DJing. When I go out there, my mindset is, let me back up Tabo, let me back up ISO, let me make sure everything is going well. And then secondly, let me make sure the crowd is engaged in doing it, because that's the important part of DJing that, at least I believe, is one of the most important parts when you're backing up an artist is, one, you have to back up that artist. You have to say lyrics, you have to do ad-libs, you have to do sound effects, live mixing, do all of that, as well as keep the crowd engaged. Because if you just have someone just rapping over their own music, I can listen to this in the car, like whatever, you're saying 4 or 5 words and then stopping and walking around, get your money. But there's different. You have someone who's performing, then you have someone who's performing, and then they have someone backing them that's adding to it. So if you look at Tech at one point always had Chris Calico. So no matter what, there was something going on, and it was perfectly choreographed. So I just took all these amazing elements, and my mindset is, let me get ready and remember what I have to do. Let me focus on, all right, I know what the match is supposed to do. All right, let's stretch, let's do this. Just be in the mindset to go perform. Right. That's really the biggest thing. If you're in the mindset to perform, those distractions don't matter. When you're not in the mindset to perform, those little things can mess you up like crazy. Like unreal. I hate getting negative phone calls or negative texts right before I have to go do something and have a smile on my face, because what's up? And in my mind, I'm like, I gotta argue with this person when I'm done with this. Like, I don't want to be in this wrestling match, and then my mind is so focused, or I'm depressed now, or I'm upset, and then someone gets injured. Like, that's the last thing that you want. Or you mess up someone's song or someone's mix, or you push a button you're not supposed to. Like, you got to be clear-minded when you go do these things.
Okay.
Definitely. So I guess a personal question for me is, like, I know you could draw similarities between wrestling and performing music, but what drives that creativeness to get into those mindsets? Because I mean, you are a very creative individual.
I appreciate that.
I hope you understand that, because like what I've seen from your music and wrestling, I mean, there's just so much involved, and you do well to portray that to everybody, right? But I feel like there has to be some sort of sauce that you whip up that gets you into those creative mindsets.
I'm not a narcissist, but I love the fact that I can do something that people enjoy. When I know that I am producing a product that people are paying to see, or people are anticipating seeing, and they're happy to see it, that makes me feel good. Because I say, okay, yeah, y'all didn't come to see me specifically, but y'all can't, when I come out here and y'all see me, it's like, yeah. So like, it's just more like I said, that mindset of being clear-minded, but to top that off, it's just more of, I love the fact that y'all love what we do. That it's literally like if someone tells you, if you were to go to a restaurant, you just walk into a restaurant, they're going to seat you, they're going to feed you, blah, blah, blah. You booked a reservation, you show up. But if you book a reservation, they call you and say, oh, yep, hey, Mr. Icon, I just want to let you know we're really excited to have you here. We have a seat for you already reserved. Is there anything you'd like upon your arrival? Those little things, you're like, oh, they're ready for me? What? Oh, yeah. It's just that extra step of we want to take care of you. That's what we feel. When fans are showing up and when they're happy and they want autographs or pictures, that stuff makes us feel like we're really stars.
Yeah.
Like, I love that. I love being able to go, yeah, I'm about to go control this crowd. And knowing that I can be successful and y'all love it. So if you ever notice when I come out to the ring, I'll just stand there and I'll look.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh, we're there.
I just look. There's a lot of thoughts going through my head at that point. The main thing is I'm seeing who's engaged. I'm literally just looking like, okay, they're not paying attention. I know they are. I see the thumb. I see the thumbs. I know what's going on. I said, okay, bet. Now let's go in here and take control of this crowd.
Yeah.
Because that's my thing. If you're not paying attention, I'm going to give you a reason to pay attention. That is my thing. When I go DJ, if you're bored, I'm going to give you a reason to not be bored. Someone just said, you can play the same songs as DJ Doc, but you for damn sure can't match the energy.
Love that.
And I was like, oh, yep, that's the quote.
That's the
I'm
quote.
keeping that.
Yeah.
So I just want to make sure that my energy and my vibe gives an experience that can't be matched. I want it to be unmatched.
Perfect. Well, I'm out of questions.
I got something
You
for
got
you.
something? Go ahead.
All right, so this is going to be a twofer, right?
Okay.
I want to know your Mount Rushmore wrestlers.
Ooh. Okay.
And I feel like you can tell what the twofer is.
Go ahead.
Well, then you're going to transition into Mount Rushmore of music artists or
Okay.
of rappers or whoever you want to put on that Mount
Okay.
Rushmore.
In no specific order.
Not at all.
Okay. I'm going to have Stone Cold Steve Austin.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to have... And I love this question because I put so much in the categories for how you have to meet it. So I'm going to start off with Stone Cold Steve Austin. I'm going to say Ric Flair. I can give reasons for each one too. Ric Flair's just a swag.
Oh, man.
That's just the swag.
Limousine ride,
That swag that he brought, that persona that he held, was second to none. It wasn't about his in-ring skills. It was just his charisma is the word that they like saying. He had charisma. And his charisma stayed the same whether he was a face or a heel. It stayed. It was the exact same.
Yep.
The exact
For
same.
Sure.
Yes. So you have those two. I would put Triple H. And the reason I say Triple H is the creativity for what he brought to wrestling single-handedly.
Yep.
Like, let's make this understood. There would be no DX without Triple H.
I agree fully.
Yeah.
with that.
There would be no Attitude Era without Triple H. Like, let's make this known.
Yeah.
So that's 3. My 4th is questionable for most people, but I will always put this out there, and there's a reason why. And my 4th is just honorable mention because I'll explain and it will make sense. I will always put, it's a tie. It's going to be Randy Orton and Dolph Ziggler.
Ooh.
And the reason I say Dolph Ziggler, bestseller in the game.
Guaranteed.
Yes.
I've been saying it for years.
Bestseller.
I've been saying it for years.
There's nothing there's no match that you can show me of Dolph Ziggler that wasn't amazing in the sense of, that was like a really good match.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It was like he's just that good. I show no disrespect to anyone else. Everyone is great. But I didn't explain Stone Cold.
It's kind
Stone
of a
Cold,
gimme.
well, you say it, but when I break it down, it's a little deeper. Stone Cold was the people's bad guy.
Mhm.
Yep.
He was what everybody wanted to be at work when they were upset.
Yes.
Yeah.
He was.
Yeah.
I want to just cuss my boss out. Stone Cold gets to spit in his boss's face every day and give him a stunner every Monday
With
and
a smile.
Thursday with a smile, and then get paid for it. Cuss him out, flick him off, and then walk in the back and drink some more beers.
Oh man.
That was like the epitome of what everyone really wanted to say and do in public that they couldn't do. Triple H, of course, the thought process and the creativity. Ziggler selling. Randy Orton, overall, everything. Like,
Yeah.
That's literally the complete package.
Yeah.
His physique,
Yep.
his in-ring ability, his mic skills, him as a face, him as a heel. It's like the epitome.
Yeah.
And of course, like I said,
love
Flair
that.
with. So now you want to go music.
Yeah. This one I'm curious about.
So are we speaking just rap hip hop, or are we talking about
I want this.
everything?
I want this personal to you.
Yep.
So
Okay.
you can categorize that however you feel.
Okay. Entertainment wise, Michael Jackson.
Okay.
No
Love
one will ever top that.
I agree.
On top of that, we're not going to speak about longevity of career. We're not going to speak about worldwide fame before actual social media. We're not going to speak about album sales and numbers. We're just speaking on entertainment wise.
Yep.
This man sells out soccer stadiums by himself. Like a soccer stadium.
Yeah.
By himself.
50,000 plus.
By himself.
Yeah.
In the 80s.
Yeah.
Like, really pay attention to that. His show presentation of storytelling, his mindset with music videos, his creativity with live performances of songs where he'll do a medley of songs, or he'll extend a song to give a music break for musicians to get shine. And the fact that he actually sings live while dancing. If you want proof, go look at Michael Jackson live in Bucharest when he sang She's Out of My Life. Messes the lyrics all up. When he does Wanna Be Starting Something, messes the lyrics up. Because a lot of times he's not really saying the words that are on the album, he's just singing.
Yeah.
If you look at Human Nature live, messes the words up every time. I'm probably hurting some people right now, but he messes the words up every time, but he's an amazing entertainer. Number 2, Dr. Dre. Producing wise, Dr. Dre has influenced an entire generation. He is the power and the sound behind a lot of people that got a lot of other people. So like you have him with, of course, NWA, him with everyone with Death Row, and then it's like, okay, well, he got M, M got 50. This person got this person. This person got this person. He is the West Coast. Like he invented. Let me take that back. He didn't invent the West Coast sound, but he definitely solidified the West Coast sound.
Yep.
That's fair.
Jay-Z. Because I said West Coast, but I need you to understand the most West Coast song to date was written by Jay-Z.
Drop some knowledge on us. What song?
Okay, so it was Dr. Dre and Snoop, the title track for Training Day.
Okay.
Still Dre Day, AK, bloom, 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 bloom. Guess who's back? Jay-Z wrote that.
Oh.
Oh.
So I want you to go listen to those lyrics. And I want you to you're going to hear the lyrics and go, that sounds like Jay-Z.
Yeah.
That sounds exactly like Jay-Z. He literally showed up. They were writing. He wrote, like, yeah, we're going with your stuff. Jay-Z undoubtedly is amazing when it comes to longevity,
For sure.
writing ability, longevity.
His lyrics are deep too.
So now you're going to my fourth, my tie. It's my tie. J. Cole,
lyrics.
Tech 9. J. Cole, storytelling. lyrics, connectivity with crowd. The fact you can get up there and just talk in between your songs and write your album as an entire story.
Yeah.
Unreal.
Just sits on the edge of the concert.
Unreal. Just sits there. Unreal. Wild. Tech Nine. Tech Nine.
Yeah.
I love Tech Nine.
If you've never been to a Tech Nine show, go. Unreal. I have to throw this honorable mention in here, though. Honorable mention is Lil Wayne. And I'm not being disrespectful by not having him there, because he is interchangeable with any single person on there with all categories. Because he's never said the same lyric twice. He does not write. Jay-Z doesn't write. He just gets it up here and records.
Off the dome.
His show, he's literally the epitome of everyone there, except the producing portion. But it's Lil Wayne.
Yeah.
It's Weezy.
Yeah.
So it's definitely those that's my Mount Rushmore.
I love that. That's a lot of those are intertwined with mine as well, so it's cool to hear that. Yeah. It's very cool. I love that.
Love it.
So cool.
Yeah, it's I love music. I love entertainment. I love all of this.
Perfect. Well, I think that's all the questions I got. I don't think you have any more.
No, I think he's hit everybody.
Yeah, so you've been wonderful to have. We thank you again for being part of the channel.
I appreciate it.
Definitely not the last time. We'll get you in for more stuff.
We'll get you in for that. Let me tell you real quick before we wrap up the show. My nephew is so jealous he's not here.
Yeah, he's jealous,
he loves you,
dude.
Like he has the shirt. He has two of your shirts. You gave him one because you remembered him from one of the previous shows, and then he has he had all of the family sign one of the shirts. And I told him that you were coming. He's like, "Can I come?" I was like, "No, I ain't got space for you. We're working here." But he loves you, man.
Make sure you tell him I said hi. Does he come to the next show?
I mean, if he watches the video.
Yeah.
Oh, hey man, look,
Jose,
here's what I need you to do. Okay. Next time you see me, I don't care if I'm walking out to the ring. I don't care if I'm already in the ring. I want you to make your presence known. Okay. I need you to look me in my eyes. You already know what to do. You already know what to do. Once I see you, I will stop what I'm doing. I will make sure that you know I see you. I promise you that much.
Yo.
There we go.
Shout out to Jose.
Yes.
Jose.
Anything you want to plug?
Yeah, anything you want to plug?
Oh man, of course. Hit me up on all social media platforms. Search Instagram DJ Doc, but it's TheDocBeatBox. Hit me up on Instagram. I'm trying to get these followers up. I'm trying to get a real blue check. Not the paid for one, the real one.
Yes,
and
sir.
I can only do that with you. Yeah. Hit me up on Instagram, DJ Doc on Facebook. Super simple. Follow everything Project Be Well. Follow everything Strange Music. Follow everything Magnum Wrestling. Follow everything PWP. Follow everything For That Marks.
Yeah.
Oh man, what else?
It'll all be in the description below.
Yeah, it'll be. I get to finally do this. Yeah, it's gonna be right here.
Hey,
It'll be right here. Yeah, right there.
Hopefully I know how to do that.
Yeah,
we'll figure it out.
it's just not there.
We'll figure it
out. Shout out to everybody that's been supporting, man. Without y'all, we could not do this. I don't care if it's haunted houses, if it's wrestling, if it's music related. We cannot do this without y'all support. So click subscribe. It's right here.
Hey, we love it.
Click subscribe. Make sure you do it. Share to all your friends, man. I'm pretty sure it's gonna be a bunch of clips out of this. Let's make something go viral, bro. Let's make something happen.
Let's get it.
Do you know how to do our outro?
No, but y'all can teach me though.
All right.
Yeah.
So if that check bounces, so do you.
Why you had to use the word bounce when we just told a whole story about me bouncing off a door?
Well, to be fair, we adopted it before it.
Okay.
Yeah. You want the backstory for that?
No, hold on. We'll give it to it off camera.
Yeah. All right. I'm ready. We are. I'm good.
All right.
Go for it.
Oh, I didn't know I was starting. Okay. Oh, that's cool. Oh, gotcha. Yeah. If that check bounces,
so do you.
I thought it was a whole group. Okay, yeah, that works too.
Yeah.
So do you.
So do you.
And then if it bounces, I need my money. So